part of it. And so, what I find it interesting is, and why I named it what I named it, which is what you need to know about selling you didn't learn in corporate America, is because I was at a training recently, and I realized my first training years ago was as a newsboy. Okay, remember when we had newspaper carriers? I don't know if they have in California, but it was the first job most kids got out of school when they were in school, carrying and selling newspaper. And that was my first formal sales training. And you all know who I am, a manager at Pais. I just want to let you know America's Unstuck Coach. I specialize, and I'm glad that most people here, because that's where I'm going to work with more than anything else. And as I went through training, I've worked in corporate America. I worked for Donnelly. Anybody know R.H. Donnelly, Yellow Pages? That was my first formal sales training. Okay? Formal. I worked for other corporations. I was their #1 salesperson in Donnelly. I was the first person under the age of 30 to ever earn over 6 figures. I was their first account executive. I was handling $4 million a year in billing at 28 years old. I was Distinguished Sales Award, which only went to 1/2 of 1% of all their salespeople. And that meant there were all these things you had to do, and I got it. I still hold, if it was still in existence, but until they stopped selling Yellow Pages, I held the single largest sales increase over quota, which was 255% in a year. And my quota was 25% over the year. I did 255% over that. I had the lowest cancellation rate in Donnelly's history, 3%. Usually they figure 20%, 20%, and 60 stays the same. I had 3% cancellations. I had the largest increase in Donnelly's history. So I was pretty damn good at it. And then I had the stupid idea I wanted to get into management. Because it started to get to the point I was 30 years old, I was near the top of the heap, and I just could not see myself doing that for the rest of my life, carrying Yellow Page books around. And we went through this every year. David knows all the time, right? Training. And it's all the same stuff. They give it different names, they bring in a different trainer, and it's all the same thing, just under different names. And you go, oh, and it's reminding you and everything else. Well, I believe that. And I was very successful at it, even in my own business. But all of a sudden, it started to fade away from me. It wasn't as effective as it used to be. All the things I was taught just didn't seem to work. And I realized two things happened. One was the industry was changing. I was in the meetings and convention industry, but I was selling intangibles. The second thing was the people I was dealing with were no longer my contemporaries. They were getting younger and younger. They were learning different ways. They wanted to be treated different ways. They didn't quite get into that rapport kind of thing of open and it was like bam, 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 bam. Give me what I need to know. And if you're lucky, you got them on an email. And I just watched my sales go like this, and I got really frustrated. And I said, this is not the way I want to sell anymore. I know I can still sell. So what we're going to talk about today is what you need to know about selling that you didn't learn in corporate America. How many people here have had corporate America training? I know you, almost everybody. Art, you did too. They don't even teach you how to sell in law school, do they?
This is way before law school.
Okay. You work for an insurance company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'd like to do is go around the room a little bit and have everybody introduce themselves. Let's start. Art, if you would.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Art Hausman. I'm a lawyer in Orange County. I do mostly personal injury and bankruptcy work.
Steve?
And to my left is
Steve Smith.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Steve Smith. I have a company called Growth Source Coaching, and I work with small business owners and help them take their focus, their energy, their resources, and align it right with the results they're trying to get out of their business. Thank you.
I'm Michael with Drive Traffic Media. If you need a social media manager, a press release writer, a blogger, a SEO coach, an SEO marketer, I'm your guy. $97 is the starting rate. You get all of that. Michael with Drive Traffic Media.
What is SEO?
Search engine optimization.
See, it's a whole new world you're going to have to learn.
You know how you found this place?
Yeah, you
That was
found
SEO.
Okay, I'm Bill Reynos. I've been a business broker for 27 years. I've added an activity, business coaching, because of the economy, etc. I'm David Horowitz. I work for a small company called Siemens. I've been selling for 37, 38 years, my whole career. And I did make the mistake of going into management because I still don't know why, but I did. I think as one, you sometimes think as a salesperson, why aren't I in this upstairs? And when I got there, I realized that I really missed selling. And so I'm just here to learn, and I have been corporately trained my whole life, just worked for large multinationals, so I'm here to see what Andy has to offer.
And something about David. David does HVAC, right, and fire?
Fire and security, yeah.
Security for almost all the public buildings in LA, and so as we have a gag, because David and I have known each other for a very long time, is we were going to, everywhere he sees a building, he says, I built that building. So we were going to get stickers made up and said, built by David Gorovitz, and we were going to put them in little places in every building, you know, and nobody would see them. Good guy. He's basically family to me.
Hi, I'm Susan Tran. I have a company called Be Ready Earthquake and Survival Products. I help businesses and families figure out all the necessary things they need so they can have themselves be ready. Thank you.
Susan?
Good morning, I'm Susan Joslin. I do a few things, everything's financially related. I have an income tax preparation business, which I'm glad to be done with that right now. So now I can concentrate, and the other area I work on credit repair. So I help people get their credit back on track in 30 days so they could go and get any type of financing they need, get on with their life, and apartments, get jobs, all that good stuff.
Hi, I'm Luann with Send Out Cards, and Send Out Cards is a physical card you send. You just get your own account and you go online, and it's great for follow-up and contacting people and, of course, sending birthday cards or Christmas or whatever. I got into Send Out Cards because I've always been a letter writer and a card sender, and it was just right down my alley, and I love this company.
My name is Jan Savage. I'm her other half. I'm an independent. She got me started in Send Out Cards. I'm a retired airline pilot, so my management is different than most of your managements, but I've done that. The Send Out Cards is really probably the best follow-up tool in the entire world. It puts a personal touch between you and your customers, everybody you deal with in your business. And that's why I specialize in business.
KJ?
Hi, I'm KJ. I have a company called Train Your Smartphone, helping business owners achieve optimal success from the palm of their hand. We know that most professionals are only using their smartphone as far as 5% of their capability. We teach you how to mirror your smartphone to your business to be 50% more productive. So if you're looking for some training in terms of smartphone technology, how to grow your business, grow your income, and your productivity, I'm your guy. Andy.
You'll be 300% more.
Right. Yes, and I've taken it too. And at lunchtime, KJ's going to tell you a little bit about what he does and how much it's helped me already in a very short period of time. And again, I'm Andrew Pais. I am the author of this book, Getting Unstuck. And this is a real genesis for me. And what I love about this is I was just at, and so was Steve, a seminar put on by Craig Duswalt, who just turned 51, by the way. So something's going on. And I asked Craig to do an age view, because this is all for entrepreneurs, people that are looking to start their own business. Do you know 57% are over the age of 50 in that room? Isn't that amazing? So everybody thinks of the kids being the entrepreneurs. No. The entrepreneurs coming forward are going to be people over 50. People that are either leaving corporate America, people who are retired, can't retire, think they can retire, and find out they can't retire. And not only because it's not financially feasible, but because it's not intellectually and emotionally feasible. I don't feel like a baby boomer. I don't feel like I'm a senior. I don't feel like that word retirement is going on. I'm just starting the next part of my whole life. I'm getting to do what I want to do. And if I have to do it 60 hours a week, I'll do it 60 hours a week. But guess who it's for? Me. I don't have to write reports. I don't have to justify my time. I can work when I want and when I don't want. And it gives me a chance to learn other things other than what's standard and what's known, what everybody wants you to do. And the people who get these kind of trainings, the people who understand that there's a new wave coming on, and that we are the wave of the future, because what we're doing is not building software products. We're building businesses. Most of us want to build a business even when they stand in front of your camera because you're trying to do the whole thing. Thank you.
One more.
One more? Thank you. Thank you.
I need to make sure I get it right when I sell it on eBay.
Okay.
Boy, I want to do that too.
Thank you.
Use the bathroom, I'll be right back.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Terrific.
Okay.
It's still recording, thank you.
Okay.
That's the one thing about it, you can cut things out, put
Yeah.
things in, the whole thing.
You don't want cages back in there?
What's that?
You don't want cages back?
Nah. So, some operating agreements. I like to get this stuff out of the way in the beginning so everybody knows we're adults, but just certain things. One is, everybody in here has got experience. Everyone in here knows how to sell. Everyone here, I know it, has your own opinions, your own experiences, your whole thing, and I'm going to ask you to do a big favor. Leave it at the door. You can pick it up when you go back, but right now, just listen to what I have to say, and do only what we ask without comparing it to what you already know. Because what happens is, while you're comparing, you're not listening to the next piece of information. That may make it all make sense. Is that fair? Okay? Okay, we're going to do exercises here, because to do it without doing exercises is really not going to help. We ask everybody do them. And we also ask husbands and wives not do them together, so that you work with people other than your normal. Talk only from back to front. There's going to be a lot of information coming at you very quickly. We want you to absorb it as much as you can, give other people a chance. And how many times have you're just waiting for that next piece of information and somebody makes a comment? And it's not like we have a DVR here. You can't ask me to go back, but most people never ask what just happened. And once you leave, you can pick up everything you want. And I found myself, I took with Eric, who's going to work with you a little bit, a speaking course. It was 10 days, 12 hours a day of speaking. Okay? Starting from square one. And the hardest thing I had to do for me was to leave everything, because I've been speaking for years, out the door. Left it out there, and just let them pile in everything they needed. And when I walked out, I took what I knew and what I just learned and put them together, and it was really the best of both. Because I didn't reject anything out of preconceived notions. I just accepted it and said, oh my God, this is going to work. This really does work. So the other thing, so those are the things, part of it. Now I'm going to ask you to do something for me and for yourself. Everybody has a piece of paper. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes. I want you to write in a couple of sentences or paragraph what you want to get out of this. But I want you to make them so big that when you get them, which you will get them, this will make you the most valuable training you've ever had. Do you need paper?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a notepad guy.
Oh,
Oh, what's that?
I'll get you one. You want one? What's that?
So take a couple minutes, write it down. Give me a sentence, 2 sentences, whatever you want it to be. But make them bigger than you would normally do. And make them positive. I have gotten out of this training as though it's already gotten them. Here you go. And the other thing is, don't overthink it. Just whatever pops into your head that you want to get out of this. Remember, make them big. Make them big. Anybody want to share? Yes, Michael.
I'd like to be more of the hunter in sales than the farmer.
Okay.
Because I seem to make relationships, build them, and then people just want to buy. And I see people that just go out there like KJ, and they just, boom, they sell, and they just close.
Right.
Like,
Okay, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Anybody else? That's okay. Close more sales. Now that's
got a good
wonderful.
one.
What, what's that?
The knowledge on how to sell more to the corporate America,
Right.
Understanding their language and how they want to be sold.
Okay. Now remember something. Corporate America is still people. And it always makes me think of my friend Hank Giordano, who's my book is dedicated to, who was like my separate father. And Hank could sell ice to Eskimos. Didn't matter what the product was. Do you know why Hank could sell ice to Eskimos? He never sold his product. He always sold people. He had street smarts. He understood people. He never sold his product. He sold the person. Actually, he never sold anybody. He had them wanting to buy from him. Now, let me rechange it. So what we're going to do, I mean, if you could, wouldn't you want to be able to have people just buy from you?
Yes.
Okay. Wouldn't you want to be able to have, and I love this speech, remember from Bull Durham, when Kevin Costner explains to the people in AAA what it takes to get into the show? And he says, all it takes is one more hit out of every 3, or one more hit out of every 10. One dying quail, one ball with eyes. And the next thing you know, you're not hitting 275 anymore. You're hitting 325 and you're in the show. And then you go to the show and it's the same thing. So suppose and imagine if you can make one more sale. I'm not even telling you you're going to double or triple your sales. You can make one more sale. Just think what it would do to your bottom line. Okay? And the thing that's scary about most salespeople is we only have an average of 25% of the market available to us. And out of that 25% of the market, if you get 30% of that 25%, you're Hall of Fame territory. Why only 25%? Because you, as salespeople, tend to gel with people who are exactly like you. Now, if you can reach one more person in that 20 to 30, or reach 1 or 2 sales in people who aren't in your same way of buying, realize what the difference it would make? Now, this is what's important about this, is I'm not going to tell you how to manipulate people. I think that's my next one. Yes, it is. Steve said to me, Andy, one of the things I don't like about these seminars is they teach you how to manipulate people. So look what I put here. Manipulation versus intention. And that's very important to understand. Does anybody know what the actual definition of manipulation is?
Bless you.
Not bless you, but anybody know what the actual definition of it?
Make people do things they really don't want to do.
No, that's your projection of the definition. Okay? Anybody know what it actually means? Manipulate means hand. It means to move. Doctors manipulate things in your body all the time. They manipulate instruments. Is that a bad thing?
No.
Okay. Manipulation is only the intention that's behind it. Now, fire is good or bad depending what your intention is, right? A gun is good or bad depending what your intention is. All that is, so let's talk about what the intention is for me teaching you this today and you here, and what I'd like to see you get out of it, is clear communications with your clients. Wouldn't you like that? Less misunderstandings. Okay? Understanding how to give them language in ways that they fully accept it. Or at least have a better chance of understanding it to accept it or reject it. Because there's nothing worse than walking away and realize you guys just didn't understand each other and you really were in agreement, but because you didn't understand each other in the way they wanted to be talked to. And that's not just disc training or square training or whatever you want to be. Because we're going to go into a whole different level. We're going to go into a whole different level, which is how do people on an unconscious level, because everybody buys what? On emotion, don't they? How do you justify it? On facts. Right? You justify it on logic. When people are manipulated, and Steve and I were talking about this, I do not like the sales techniques where they find your pain. You know that one? Find the pain and then just dig it, make it hurt more and more and more until the person's going, give me the cure. And you go, I've got the cure. As Monty Python routine was, I don't know how many Monty Python people are here, but there was name your disease. You have 24 minutes to decide what disease you have, and then we'll give you the antidote, and people will go in. Is it this? Is it that? Is it that? No, you don't want to be in that situation. You want that person to buy from you because they want to buy from you. You want that person to buy from you because they are gotten information and they can make a good emotional decision that they can justify with logic. Interesting, isn't it? So what I'm going to give you is content, context, not content. The words you use, the way your intention is all, and the product you sell is all content. That's what you get into. The context is how you're actually going to do it. So I'm going to teach you some practices. I'm going to teach you how to know if somebody's ready to buy without asking them a buying question. I don't like that. Would you like that? No, that's fine for now. Okay. When people come in, we'll close it. If I can, the other thing I'm going to show you is, are you closing the door for us?
Yeah, I
Thanks.
put some music on out here, so
Okay.
it works.
Okay, just, would you bring, let me just take this off of here. It's I did.
Sorry.
No, not a problem.
Interrupt.
No, not an interruption at all. Thank you. I'm glad you're caring about us so much. They really taking good care of us here. Oh, by the way, there is food here, and the other piece of the bathrooms, you know where they are. We're going to try to take a break every 45 minutes or so, just to let you stretch your legs, because I know myself, an hour and a half is too long for me. We'll take a break around 12 for lunch, and we'll go from there. By the way, this is Eric Phillips, who is one of my teachers, and I love teaching with him because he's one of the smartest people I know. And, you know, and he's got a life story that nobody should go through, and he's still here. And I told him a long time ago, you're going to be here and teaching with me a year later from the last time we had that discussion.
And I'm still here.
And you're still here. Because it was like this at the time.
Good.
So this is my intention, to help you help your clients. Okay? Help you help your clients make good decisions. To reduce buyer's remorse. Okay? To be able to be as effective as those guys are, and I mean those guys, I watched a guy for one of the network marketing, and I knew exactly what he was doing, minute by minute, statement by statement, word by word, every technique in the world, and he almost got me sucked in. And he does it so well. And I'm just watching people, and I'll tell you something, when it comes to network marketing, when these guys are good, you don't stand a chance. You really don't stand a chance. Because what he is when he stops speaking, and what he was when he was speaking were two different people. It's an act. I would like one person to this day, when they say that, and go, imagine every 2 weeks, it goes ka-ching, I get paid and I get $5,000. What would you do with that $5,000? I get it every time. Well, does anybody stop and ask him to show me that balance? And nobody ever asks. Why? Because he's got you in such a place that you're inside your head, imagining how you would do with that $5,000. Okay? All you need to do is this and this. What you're going to learn today is how they do it. So you can do it, but again, I will give you the techniques. I will teach you what you need to know between Eric and I. How you use it is up to you. Okay? That's up to you. I would hope that everybody would use it in a positive way. Not to manipulate people in a negative way, but to have them make good buying decisions and turn around and say, he's a great guy. I really want to work with him. When that person closes, Michael,
Yes.
when that person closes, they're going to be happy to close. And the other thing that's really neat is you won't even have to close them. You're going to know when they're closing. You're going to know because we're going to teach you how to light somebody up. That they are ready to close themselves. Now, you're going to hear a lot of strange questions here. You're going to hear things phrased in ways you're not used to hearing. And the important thing is that you understand that I'm doing it from my way of doing it. These are generalities. You'll do it and make it your own. In fact, we're going to practice some of those things. Of asking questions. Now, you may say to me, well, that doesn't feel comfortable. That's corny or that's ridiculous. No, that's in your head. stop projecting all the things that you have onto other people. So I've heard people say to me, well, nobody wants to spend a whole 3 days or on a weekend. Well, that's in their head. There are other people that are willing to spend that 3 days because when they're done with that 3 days, they're going to make a lot of money from what we teach them here. Okay? We're also going to give you a lot of information, but again, it's a sampler. I can't go into everything in 3 hours. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of practice. There's a lot of nuances of what's going on. And I don't know, did anybody... There's been a story on the internet lately, and it just blew me away. It's about a guy whose parents, about 20 years ago, bought a bowling alley in Australia. And the kid was 4 at the time. And who, you know, with a 4-year-old boy, Dave, you know about 4-year-old boys, David, right? Athletic 4-year-old boys. Both David's kids are athletes. And they put him down at the end of the thing. They said, just leave us alone. Here's a light bowling ball. This is your alley, and bowl. Well, the kid picked up the ball. What can a 4-year-old pick up? There's not even holes small enough for him to put his hands in, right? He just took it and he started rolling the ball down. He rolled down and he rolled the ball. And he's just rolling the ball. And what happened was he started to get really, really good. Okay? And eventually, as he grew up, somebody came in and saw him and said, you know, this kid should really go and be a pro bowler. Send him to PBA school in the United States. So they sent him to Reno, which is the home of the PBA, and they put him in school, because you have to go through bowling school if you go through golf school. Yeah, you have to go through bowling school. You just can't say, I want to bowl. You have to go through a whole school, and you got to qualify. And he got up and he started bowling, and they said, wait a minute, hold on a second. You can't bowl that way, because he's still bowling like this. When he said, why can't I bowl that way? I have as good an average. No, we don't bowl that way in this country, in the pros. We bowl with the 2 fingers or the 1 finger with this and that and the whole thing. So you have a choice. And he said, what's the choice? I said, you can either learn to bowl the way we're going to bowl. We're going to teach you. Or go home. You have to make a big decision. And part of making those decisions is that you have to learn sometimes something new. And today we're going to learn a lot of things that are new and different. How many people know about rapport? Have you ever heard about rapport? Okay. Eric is a master at rapport. And that's one of the reasons I wanted him here. Because, what have you heard, mirroring and matching? You know how much mirror and matching is of rapport? Anybody have any idea?
10%.
Maybe 1%. Okay?
I don't
And
know.
everybody knows that part of it. Oh, mirror matching. You ever hear of cross matching?
Pacing.
Pacing, tone, all these things. And Eric's going to go through everything that there is to know that he can teach you about the physical parts of rapport so that you'll be much better at it when you do it. Now, the one thing about it, I'm going to ask you to go out and practice what he's going to teach you. Because try to get caught. That's what, I was challenged to that too. Go out and do these things and try to get caught. You never get caught. I've had whole bars change position. I have people change positions. I've made contact with women across a room or men just using rapport, knowing the things that I've learned. And the more you practice it, the better you're going to get at it. Don't be embarrassed. The worst thing that happens is you get busted, but they'll smile. Most people, when you get busted, smile at you. You notice that? They have no idea why they're looking at you, but they smile at you. And just go along with the flow. And that's what we're going to do. A little bit about Eric. Eric is like myself, an NLP trainer and master practitioner. He's a master hypnotherapist, correct? Reiki master.
Mm-hmm. Yep, master trainer.
Master trainer. So when I go to certify people, I go through him. Okay, so I've been trained in my master's things through him. So not, you know, if I'm going to teach you, why not bring the guy who taught me, right? Because I want to bring you the best information that I can and the best teachers that I can. So he teaches people like me how to do this. Eric owns a company called Psychological Me, and he's putting on seminars now called, what is it called?
It's the Communications Academy.
It's Communications Academy, which is based, if I understand, teaching NLP, you know, to practitioners. Is that what it is more than anything else? You're kind of saying?
It's about teaching the NLP techniques.
Right.
More